just comment so that I'm able to know that people can see my screen and can see what we're looking at. Okay, what are you seeing on the screen? Just so I know we're on the same page, what are you seeing on the screen? I make a PowerPoint, Shanshan, is the dashboard. Okay. What about now? Is it still Google Meet UI? Okay, hold on. Okay. I'm sure now you are seeing PowerPoint there. Okay, fantastic. All right, yeah. Let's just kick this off. So, I was introducing myself. My name is Aggrey Amor. Very, very passionate about the creative industry. Extremely passionate about everything, creativity. I'm obsessed with storytelling, right? I'm obsessed with branding and really just everything that has to do with creativity. I am there. I'm all for it. I'm currently creative director at Blink. I am also media director at Believers Life Church. I'm also a photographer and videographer at Avid, creative director at Silver Blue, and yeah, it's been an interesting journey in the creative space. I started designing in this is 2016, 2017 thereabout. I entered the professional like professionally designing in 2021. I think that was like my breakout year. Yeah, that's a bit about myself. I have been privileged to win a couple of awards throughout my design journey. Best graphic designer of the year 2022 by Zambian Institute of Marketing. Best creative head blinker. Yeah, just a few notable things. I have worked with a couple of brands. Some you know, some you may not know. Some local, a couple of international ones also, and I have gotten to really appreciate the impact that creativity can have on people's psychology, and even just on anything that you want to really bring out. So I'm going to talk about a few things around just being very disruptive with your creativity, because I want to think that's something that I am known for. That's like driving. Because guys, if personally, right, on a personal level, if your artwork is not necessarily being talked about, then in my books and for me, the impact isn't really there. Right, because one of the things that creativity should do is it should drive conversations. It should steer conversations. Yes, impact can be big on it depending on the deliverables, right? But from a graphic design perspective, and in my books, there is a certain level of impact that if your artwork or your campaigns are not making rounds, they're not being talked about, then you're actually failing at marketing, because literally marketing is people talking about your stuff, your product or whatever it is you're doing being top of mind, and that's something you must always aim for. Okay. All right. So what is disruptive creativity? Number one, it's not just about innovation, right? It's about challenging norms, breaking conventional rules, creating new value that often renders old approaches absolute. One of the things that I can attest is just how rapid the creative industry is changing. Design 2 years ago is not the way it is now, right? I was talking to a colleague on Thursday, and he was asking me something. He said, "Aggrey, why is it that there is a difference between how different designers will interpret the same brief that they're given?" And I've noticed this because this is an old Bali, so he's worked with so many graphic designers. So he said, I have noticed this with some designers I worked with previously and the ones I'm working with now. There's a different way that they are interpreting the very same briefs that I'm giving them. And I said, yeah, it's because to be very true to it, design and creativity has evolved so much, right? And if you don't keep up with the times, it's going to be hard for you to literally make impact and for your artwork to actually speak. One of my favorite quotes and my favorite sayings is that we're not just creating artwork, we're creating conversation pieces, meaning we're creating things that should spark conversations in different rooms, in different boardrooms, in like different places. There should be conversation that's sparked because of that. So in design, disruptive creativity means moving beyond just aesthetics to problem solving, right? To user experience, creating emotional connections in unexpected ways. So if your design does not connect with the audience, then it's useless. If your design does not connect with the intended demographic, literally you wasted your time. You've really wasted your time. Yes, Trofla, functionality over aesthetics every time. Every time. Like I said, I'm a creative director, so I lead a team of creatives. I have a couple of creatives under me, graphic designers, art directors, and copywriters. And for designers especially, like for graphic designers especially, they'll come to me with artwork after I've given briefs and everything. They'll come to me with artwork that looks so nice. It looks so good, but that's just what it is. It's just pretty, right? It's just pretty. It doesn't communicate any message. It doesn't evoke any kind of emotion. And I'm like, yeah, no, this won't. Nobody will look twice at this. Nobody will look twice at this. Even for you guys, right? When last did you stop and look at a billboard and say, okay, about this billboard, this is tough, this is good? Not because of the aesthetic of it, right? The aesthetic is good, but the functionality, did it connect with you when you saw it at first? Did it make you like, oh, that's genius, right? And also, please, if you hear me say things like praise the Lord, amen, like just flow, all right? Just like reply, amen. For me, every time I'm doing Google Meets, I'm either in Bible study or in a fellowship meeting or something. So you forgive me if that slips out. Yeah. Also, yeah, I'll say, when last did you look at even on Facebook, you were scrolling and you looked at an artwork and you went like, this is brilliant, this is genius. It's these days, especially with the age of AI, it's hard. It's hard. Emmanuel Chanda says you saw one that, yeah. Okay, that's good. That's good if you saw one and it caught your eye like that. Then they achieved their purpose, right? They achieved their purpose. So disruptivity really in creative is exactly that. Problem solving. Is your artwork solving any problem? Is your artwork solving any problem? What's the user experience? And this is also just beyond graphic design in terms of posters, but user experience talks about applications, websites, right? How does the end user feel after experiencing your website or your application? Right? What's their user experience? Have you created that emotional connection with them? Right? Yeah. So for me, my early steps, like everybody or like most people in design, I did, like I said, I started designing in 2016. I remember I would spend overnights like locked up in my room. I had a Windows PC, a Windows 7. I remember I had sorry about that. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? And can you still see my screen? Can you?
Yes, we can.
All right, fantastic. Thank you. Um, Forgive my poor internet connection. Yes, so I was saying I started out like really everybody, and 2016 I would be locked in my room. I spent so many hours on Photoshop, so many hours. That's my favorite design tool till date. I spent so many hours, so many overnights, just learning the software, and you know, I was delivering what was expected. I was following what everybody was doing. Of course, I had some people I was looking up to in my design journey at that time, and it was beautiful, right? It was really really good to. It was really really good, and there was impact that I was growing as a creative. There's stuff I was seeing. There's a way I was designing. My designs were looking sharp. They were looking nice, but it always bothered me that it didn't seem as though I was any different. I don't know if that makes sense, right? Somebody would come, Aggrey, design a business card. I want it to look like this, like this. I would get it, design it. I want a poster, I want it to look like this, like this. I would get it, design it. And that was just me. Of course, they were paying me for it. I was making money off it. But for me, it wasn't turning heads the way I wanted it to. It wasn't making the impact the way I wanted it, right? It was just like, okay, this guy is dispensable. If he's not responding, we can just find another graphic designer who's gonna do the same thing he's doing. And I didn't like that. That wasn't my intention for why I started. My designs even then, I wanted them to carry a message. I wanted if people saw my creatives, If it was for a meeting to, if it was for a conference or something, just by people seeing my creative, they should want to attend that meeting. That was me. That's what I wanted. But then that spark, I was lacking that spark. I couldn't see it beyond. I was just mastering the tool. I knew how to use it. And like many of you now, I mean, you're learning Photoshop, you're knowing the tools, which is good. You have to, of course, know the tools, but it shouldn't end there, right? It shouldn't just end that, okay, you know the tool, you can put this image here, change this layer, change this background. But what is it that you are doing exactly, right? What do you want to evoke in people? And that is it's the same thing with anything creative, really. That's why there are certain movies that resonate with you better than others, even if it's the same actor that did them. But there are certain movies, certain songs that will capture your heart, your emotions a particular way because of how they were crafted. Right. And that's what disruptive creativity is, really. Okay. And yeah, for me, that question was always bugging me is, am I truly making any impact, or am I just like any other designer out there? Which is what I didn't want to be. I didn't want to be just like anybody else, right? And so my turning point was embracing disruption, right? I began to understand that true impact, especially for my design, would come not just, okay, this is a beautiful poster, but what's the purpose? What's the intent? Why are we making this? Right? Why are we making this? Understanding the why of why you're doing something will lead you to make the best thing, because then you're giving your artwork purpose. You're giving your artwork intention. You're giving your artwork reason to exist, for lack of a better term. I don't know if you're getting me. Right? And that's disruptive design, really. You are giving this particular thing you're creating a purpose, an intended purpose. So it's not just a flyer anymore. It's not just a social media post. It's a tool for impact. You understand why you're creating it. You understand who you're creating it for. You understand where it's going to be posted, where it's going to be shared, who's going to see it. You understand the target demographic very well. So you understand who they are, their age group and stuff like that. You understand their psychographics. How do they think? Where are they found? How would they interact with this best? Will it be on an email? Will it be on Facebook? Will it be on Instagram? Will it be a WhatsApp status? You start understanding all those things. And for me, fast forward to 2021, and this is why I'm saying 2021 for me was my breakout year, because I think that's when I started really diving into this kind of disruptiveness in my creativity. And that came, my first catalyst for me was the Africa Must Think design competition. And I'll use my own experiences to kind of explain these things, because it's the closest thing, right? It's the closest thing to me. So I knew in that, and this was 2021, I believe, I knew in that design contest. Can people hear me? My
can hear you.
I know you can hear me when you comment, but if people aren't commenting, I think I'm talking to myself or my internet has gone. Okay, people can hear me, great. Yeah, so when the Africa Must Think, the very first design contest for it was announced, then I was dealing with very low self-esteem as a designer. Right? You know, like as a designer, you get to a point, like people don't understand this, but designers, you are your worst critic, right? Like sometimes it's not even creative block that hits you. It's just that you are your worst critic. You're like, but this is wow. This is, people can be saying, yeah, this is great. This is amazing. To you, it's like, no, but this is a whack artwork, right? And for me, I battled with that like so much during that period. And I was in that same period. I was introduced to to different WhatsApp groups that had people that I really looked up to when it came to design. Like there are people that have gone ahead of us. I was, like I said, I was very young in design. Like I didn't know so many people, but there are some people I could see from afar. Really, really big, big people. I won't mention names, and many groups. I've forgotten their names, but yeah, when this design contest was announced, I actually didn't even want to participate because, like I said, my confidence was very low, and I didn't think I was going to make it. As a matter of fact, I knew those people I looked up to in design were going to participate. And so I felt like, what's even the use? Like, these guys are already so good. What am I going to make that's going to be different? A very, very close friend of mine encouraged me to participate and pestered me until the final day. And it's in that moment, that something lit up. Like when you have like a genius idea, right? And you even know this is not your idea. Like this is the Spirit of God talking to you. Like this is the Spirit of God that has inspired you to come up with this idea, right? That's what happened to me. Yeah, in that moment I had a spark of inspiration. And that's the first case study for this presentation, because for me this was my radical turning point. I decided to attend because, of course, my this really close brother of mine was busy pestering me to attend, rather to participate. I decided to participate, but I knew that so many designers, so many great designers, excellent designers would participate also. But what was going to set me apart? I started asking these questions: why, right? Why and how? How do I need to get this message out, and how am I going to do it? Right? That was the shift in my mindset, really. And my disruptive approach for it, I started mind mapping, and I thought really hard about the poster and the artwork. I knew so many designers were going to use the African map. They were going to use patterns and stuff like that. Like, definitely, that's like textbook, right? Because um, that's textbook design, right? Because it's talking about Africa. So I knew that was going to happen. But how was I going to make mine different? And how was I going to make mine stand out? I recall I missed the deadline, and posters were already being posted. And like I said, that inspiration from the Lord, that genius idea that was birthed was this: turn the Africa map into a light bulb and make Zambia at the center of it, tungsten. Now, my background in photo manipulation and learning the software helped because I could pull this off, right? Right now, you can use AI to make this, like, instantly. Use AI to make this. But back then, we didn't have AI. It hadn't reached here, or it hadn't reached the level where it's at. In fact, I didn't know about AI being used for design in 2021. I had no clue. So manipulated this whole thing. But the impact of it was what was beautiful, because we entered that competition late. We created an artwork that became the top of the competition. Right? It was the late entry, like it was the last one. And back then, these competitions where you have to now start begging people for likes and stuff like that. That was the nature of the competition. And luckily for me, I didn't beg a lot of people for likes. It was the poster that we designed at that time. Of course, looking at it now, it's not, it's nothing incredible. Like, looking at it now, you're like, okay, he should have changed this. Even me, looking at it now, I'm like, okay, I should have changed what. But back then, it was really brilliant. And what happened was the poster won, up winning the whole competition. But even after that, there was a lasting impact, right? I remember after this, I got so many. Am I still breaking? Sorry, James. Am I still breaking? Can other people confirm? Oh, okay. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. So after the contest, I remember getting so many. I got so many. What do you call them? I don't want to say business opportunities, but so many. I got so many inquiries that led to me building a lot of brands, right? It was all because of this. And everybody that inboxed me would say, we looked at this poster that you did, your thinking was different from everybody else. And that's what particular campaign. And for me, I was just excited that I won a competition. I didn't expect it to bring so much business my way, or so much, I don't want to call it business, so much networking opportunities my way, right? And yeah, that was my turning point. It was fine, want to create an artwork, want to create a poster, but how do I ensure that this poster stands out from the rest? And it's asking those particular questions. Now, I don't have a lot of time to go into what mind mapping is right now, but you can just Google it. If you can, go to the Do It podcast and you will learn about mind mapping there. Yeah. So I'll move on to the second case study. This one is a very interesting one. If you know me or have followed me for for 2 years, you will know what this is, right? And this why this is an important case study for me is it brought out a different kind of disruption, still similar to what had happened in 2021, but it was worse this time. And it was the Zampost rebrand. It was a passion project. So the challenge was to rebrand Zampost. That was really it. And the disruptive approach that I took with my team was to position Zampost as an elite courier player in the same league as DHL, FedEx, UPS, etc. Right? And the impact. So the impact for this one was we created a memorable poster that inspired many to think outside the box. I like to think and I like to think and announce that because of my approach to this particular design and this contest, every other contest that came after that pertaining to this particular event saw people churn out posters that at least had a level of thought to them. They were no longer just aesthetically pleasing. This wasn't just a battle of, oh, I know how to use this tool better. I know how to blend these lights better. I know how to do it. It's beyond that. It's okay. Is this functional? Will this capture the intended purpose? Right. So this is a memorable poster. Even till now, I've had so many people who tell me, oh, I always go back to this, and it's helped me think about my poster designs differently. So that was a win. Yeah, now back to this interesting thing. So the disruptive approach again was to position Zampost as an elite courier player in the same league as DHL, FedEx, UPS. And the impact that this had was virality and an international award nomination. So backstory, there was a competition that we entered, a contest where we were competing with another design group, and we're given the same challenge, executed them differently, and this was our approach to it. Is the poster being shared in the presentation? Which poster? Okay, I'll answer questions. Let me cruise because of time. Yeah, we entered this contest with the other team. We had the same brief, but two very different approaches. And this particular branding project or this passion project brought there was so much noise and talk around our approach that really it made me so happy, right? It made me so happy for a number of reasons. Number one, we hit our target, which was to get people to talk about the project, see it, have eyeballs. We had eyeballs over the project. But unfortunately, we didn't win. By the judges' matrix, we didn't win this this design contest. And that was met with very different and mixed feelings. And we understand why we didn't win. But for us, the very fact that we created something, right? Because previously people knew Zampos. Yeah, Zampos is there, Zampos is there. But we brought a certain shift in mindset in how you approach creative design when you're rebranding something, right? Even from, because we approach this from a marketing perspective in terms of the campaign rollout of the logo, of the application, a website, and all that. And it was very interesting the different kinds of scenarios that we had put, Zampost in. So we said, okay, fine. Our campaign messaging for this was anything is postable. So we said, okay, look, Zampost would deliver anywhere and everywhere, right? Whether you're underwater, would deliver to you. Whether you are on the moon, would deliver to you. In a volcano, Zampost would deliver. And we were playing on humor and all that, and that kind of relatability. That, according to the judges and everything, we missed the mark. But it was more so like I mentioned, the virality and the international recognition that we got because of this particular project. We had, like I said, on a Zambian scale, in terms of the people who were judging it were Zambians. They said we missed the mark completely, and we didn't really understand what was going on, what we were supposed to do. But then, fast forward, I think 2 weeks later, we got an award nomination for that particular brand, the same passion project rebrand. So for us, it was at that point, it was interesting to see the different levels, let me say, of appreciation for the very same thing, right? And even you, in your design journey, right, you come to a place where the people around you may not necessarily understand why you want to design things that way, why you want to break out that way. But that shouldn't stop you, because trust me, there is a certain audience for your type of crazy thinking, if that's the way. All right, let me cruise. Case study 3 for disruptive creativity. Again, we did a Red Bull X Avengers passion project. So the challenge was to merge 2 global brands. And the disruptive approach for this was create an iconic, detailed collaboration. Again, the impact of this was the virality and visibility that we got. I mean, we got Red Bull acknowledging the project. We got Black Widow or Marvel themselves reacting to our posts. And literally something that's this big coming out of Zambia for us is a big deal, right? It's a big deal, but that doesn't come when you are playing by the rules, okay? When you're playing by the rules and you're sticking to templates and you're sticking to right now, people, so many people are using AI. AI has become kind of diluted, and that they're using it in a very basic way. As in, AI is so powerful that many people are using it in such. It's amazing, right? It's yeah. So this passion project, our approach literally was, if how do we position this as though we are a global agency that's competing with global agencies in the West. All right. From my perspective as a creative director, was how do I ensure that there is a relatability now away from local championship, away from Zambians relating to it. We are dealing with a global audience. How do we disrupt a global audience? Right? How do we disrupt a global audience? And a global audience, these are people that have already been exposed to so much creativity. But how do we think about it in a way that um, that brings home, right? How do we think about it in a way that will turn heads, that will cause people to say, oh, okay, like that's tough. How do we bring talkability to it? How do we bring Blink to top of mind? How do we put Zambia on the map to say, okay, there's some creatives in Zambia that made ABCD? I mean, after we rolled out this project, it was so big for us. We had people as far as Nigeria, people as far as Ghana, as far as people as far as SA, getting in touch. It was really, really amazing. All right, it was really amazing. But that came out of move away from your cocoon of okay, no, I'm just trying to relate this to these people and this to these people. Move away from that. Break away from that. Right? Let me wrap up. I want to steal time. They might not invite you again next time. Okay, so key principles for disruptive creativity. Number one, embrace discomfort. Embrace discomfort. Growth happens outside the comfort zone. Number two, question everything. Question everything. Don't accept norms just because they exist. No, the design rule is that you need to use A, B, C, D, A, B, C, D. Okay, cool, but why? What happens if we don't use those things? What happens if I use Comic Sans, for example? Right? What happens? Hey, don't stretch the logo. Okay, what happens if I stretch the logo? Don't make the logo bigger. Fine. What happens if I make the logo big? Right? User-centric innovation. Solve real problems in new ways. Right now, AI is at your disposal. It's at my disposal for us to use it and utilize it and solve things in different ways. We can use AI for that. Stop. Don't let AI should be your friend. It should be your helper. Don't let AI do everything for you. Iterate and be adaptive. Be willing to fail fast and pivot. So if something doesn't work out, if you post something and people say this is bad, this is wild, this is not nice, look, don't like your heart. Like as a designer, you have to work on your heart. People will hate your work. For me, I've even made peace with it. There are people that don't like me, and I even know, like, it's fine. You get, like, they will always have something bad to say about your design. Even that's, trust me, the African Must Think poster, somebody commented, yeah, but why isn't the bulb lighting up? It should be doing like this. The Zampost, somebody asked, okay, why that guy is underwater, but that box doesn't look wet. Why? The Avengers one, somebody asked, okay, fine, why are they using why aren't they using T'Challa? Why are they just putting his mask? Like, people will criticize your work even when there's nothing. You get, right? But your heart should be soft to adapt and forgive and move on quickly. Very quickly. Very, very quickly. Be willing to fail fast and pivot. So you fail, you change. You fail, you change. You will hit the mark at one point or another. Draw inspiration from diverse fields. Draw inspiration from diverse fields. Look at different fields. Look at different people doing different things, and draw inspiration from there. All right. You are this creative block thing. Hey, I have a creative block. I have a creative block. You have a creative block because you think all the ideas come from you. You think like you are the only one who can have creative ideas. That's why a creative block is. One of the things my pastor told me a long time ago. He said, Aggrey, in this world, there will always be somebody better than you. Just learn from them. Find them and learn from them. And it's very true. There is always, even in here right now, there are people who are way better than me. I just won't mention names, but they know themselves, right? But those are the people you go to and learn from. You quickly learn from them. Still their concepts, still their ideas. Just change the color. One of the things I used to do a long time ago, around 2017, 2018, is I would look at artworks that inspired me and I would remake them. And I would try to remake them exactly like that. Exactly. Change the colors. Just change the colors. And if they say, you're stealing my artwork, you say, even you got this artwork, you got it from somewhere else. Solomon says there is nothing new under the sun. So meaning even you, there is somewhere where you got this artwork. So I'm going to get it, I'll use it, I'll remake it, and I'll change the colors. Yeah. After you've learned how to change the colors, now start adding in your own spice. Start adding in your own touch. Start adding in your own touch, your own thing. Start adding them. Start adding your stuff. Valentine's Day, during Valentine's Day this year, I told my team that, look, we're not going to post the very normal things that people post on Valentine's Day. No post, Shan, a heart and whatnot. I said, we're not going to post any of that. I want our Valentine's Day posts to drive conversations, to get us eyeballs. So we are going to get different rival brands and then put them in a relationship situation. This by far was one of my favorite projects this year. One of the things I love about my workplace, right, is our CEO he trusts me so much. Or let me say he trusts us so much with crazy ideas. Like he gives us that platform to just play around as long as it makes sense and it's not tarnishing the brand, then it'll be good. So this was one of them, right? And I told my copy guys, I want the copy to be punchy. I want the copy to just have fun with whatever it is we're making. I told my designers, have fun with the concepts and the artworks. And everybody understood the assignment from the get-go. And we had impact with our Valentine's Day. The copy was great. It was fun. It was funny. We used iconic brands that people know. We brought it home also and used brands that people would relate to. And even, the scenarios that would be enacted, people could relate to that. Because Zambia is a vicious market also, because, at one point, a drowning dog is trending. At the next point, there are videos circulating the social media. In the next point, there is a kama wathog running around, and that's what's trending. Then every week there's something. Every week, sometimes it's very hard to keep up, but you have to stay relevant. You have to keep up with the Zambian drama. You have to keep up with it. That's how you stay afloat. Yeah, so you need to overcome these hurdles. Number one, you need to overcome the resistance to change, right? I have been in many situations where different clients, different teams, and sometimes even myself, I have resisted new ideas because I want to play it safe. Safe doesn't get remembered. You need to be disruptive. Of course, be very ethical, right? But don't. Everybody plays it safe. For you need to separate yourself from the rest of the creatives. You must. This don't resist change. Overcome the fear of failure. Right? Like I said, look, the your artwork will be rubbished. It will be spat upon. They'll tell you you're not good enough. Like they'll tell you so many things. That's how this world is. Do not fear that. Do not fear that. Somebody wrote an article one time. I read it last week, and they talked about how they had posted something, and they even screenshotted my comment on it. And my comment was, "No, this is not good." And in the article, they said after I gave them that comment, they went and checked my profile and saw the stuff I do and everything. And then that comment pushed them to be better. And this was 2 years ago that they read the comment. But the growth between then and now is astronomical. Like the things they are making, I'm just like, wow. I reached out to them. I said, let's jump on a passion project together. Do not fear failure. Don't. Disruptive ideas sometimes require unconventional resources. Use what you have, right? Use what you have. At some point, people, I like that one. At some point, people used to tell us, no, you can't design well. You need a MacBook. You need a MacBook to design. I had a PC, my first PC that I used to design on. I kid you not.
Mr. Speaker, sir,
Yes.
you only have 3 minutes to wind up.
All right, not a problem. In fact, this is my last slide.
All right.
Yeah. Yes, they'll tell you, no, you need a MacBook Pro to design good designs. What? My first laptop, Tofla, I'll tell you, my first laptop, after you design, you have to put it in the fridge, in the deep freezer, for like 2 hours because it would heat up so much. That same Africa Must Think post, that one, and destroyed my PC. Had to put my PC in and it's not even a joke. So use what you have, right? Use what you have, but create the best. My approach to disruptive design is really clear, very, very clear communication. In everything that you do, clear communication. Experiment with many things, right? And engage in passion projects as much as possible, because passion projects help you think outside the box. They help you you control that field yourself, because it's just a passion project. After that, there's a reputation and trust that you're building, that when people see your work, they say, yes, we want these kind of ideas that cause people to talk. And this was one of them that we worked on. All right, I think my 3 minutes is up. Thank you so much for listening and being attentive. I don't take it lightly. I hope you've learned a thing or two. Thank you so much. Moderator, over to you.
Wow. Thank you so much, sir, for that insightful and thought-provoking session on disruptive creativity. I think we can all agree that you've not only challenged our way of thinking, but you have also inspired us to see design from a completely fresh perspective, basically. A round of applause to you. To the audience, please just type disruptive creativity in the comment section. And one point that really stood out for me was understanding your why gives your design or what you create an intended impact. That was like really amazing. Like that is what really stood out for me. It's like it's a reminder that creativity often lives just beyond our comfort zone. Thank you so much, sir. If you are a designer, in the comment section, just type our design with papers. I will design with papers. Or if you don't design, but you're into creativity, you can just type, I will create with papers. I will create with papers. Time is always jealous, but it is not with us. Thank you so much, sir, once again. Amazing. I can see the comment section is so doing amazing. So due to time, I'll just take 2 questions from the audience for Mr. Aggrey, and then we'll proceed to the next speaker. Any question, you can just raise your hand. Any questions from the audience? Emmanuel Chanda, please unmute yourself and go ahead and ask.
Okay, so the question I have is about the learning curve. Like any idea that you get to have, no matter how creative you are, you get to have this learning curve, and in this learning curve, ooh, you make a lot of mistakes. So what do you do? How do you get around that fear of, because you're learning, your work will be inadequate?
All right, that's a great question, and I understand you perfectly. Number one, I will advise you to get a mentor in everything that you do, in everything that you want to embark on, creativity, business, ministry, whatever it is. Get a mentor, because a mentor in that field has already traveled that path that you want to embark on, and so number one, you will be accountable to them, okay, and they will guide you. They will guide you in what you want to do. They will give you specific steps and things that they miss. One of the things I do a lot in everything that I want to embark on, I find a mentor, and when I find that mentor, I ask them, the very first question I ask them is, what mistakes did you make that I should avoid? And they will tell me, oh, I made this mistake, this mistake, this mistake, and I will avoid all those things, right? So get a mentor. It's very, very important. And once you get a mentor, it's your job to pursue that mentor, to follow up, to ask them, okay, how am I doing? I've made this, how is it? Kindly give me feedback here, kindly give me feedback here. You will grow faster like that. They will correct you in love. They will direct you in what you're supposed to do. So mentorship is extremely important. That's how you can combat that. I hope I've answered.
All right, thank you so much. You got that.
Yeah, I just hope they don't use my idea, even though they are my mentor.
Okay, so the last hand we're going to get is I can see Wope. Wope, please unmute yourself and go ahead and ask.
All right, thank you very much. Lovely presentation. I have 2 simple questions. The first one is, how do you get around a block? Let's say you get burnt out. How do you go about that? Then the second question is, what would be the best? What would you do differently if you were to start all over again? Yeah.
Okay, awesome. I'll start with the creative block question. I have experienced creative block many times, but then there are certain processes that I have put in place and certain systems that I've put in place to mitigate that. So number one, you need to start by identifying the things that cause you to be burnt out, right? These can be particular projects, can be certain briefs. I'll give an example. For me, I hate redundant briefs. I hate briefs that don't have a clear objective. If a client tells me, no, just play around with the colors, I hate that. I will not touch it. If they tell me, no, just play around with the logo, I don't know what that means. I will not touch it. I don't like those things. Stress me out, and I will not touch them at all. Especially though I play around with the font. I'll say, sir, there are over 3 million fonts in the world. What do you mean play around with the fonts? Tell me the fonts you want, right? So identify those things. What causes you stress? Okay. Number two, you need to refine your design process. So for example, before you start designing anything, what do you do? I'll give you my design process. Number one, I understand the brief, of course, like the brief should be clear, it should be concise, and it should be short. I don't like long briefs because I don't really like reading. And number two, since I've understood what the brief is, I start creating a mood board. Now, mood board, remember I mentioned you need to find inspiration in different places, right? So my mood board will be songs, it will be movies, it will be other artworks, it will be people, it will be football, it will be so many different things. That's my mood board, me creating my mood board. After that, after my mood board is set, I enter a mind map. I start doing a mind map of the brief that I've received. And then I then start designing. I have so many ideas because of that mood board. So I won't get the creative block, and I won't get burnt out, because once I have a creative block here, I have maybe 7 other avenues to kind of follow, right? So you must look at your design process. What's your design process like? That's very important. Number two, you asked, I hope I've answered that one. It's very important, your design process, and refine it. Number two, you asked, if I were to start all over again, what would I do differently? The first thing that I would do differently is I would find a mentor, right? For me, yes, do what you can do. Exactly. I don't like those things. Yeah, I would find a mentor. For me, then, like, it was hard for me to find people to mentor me and to show me things, because I reached out to people, they were busy, they took too long to reply and stuff like that, right? So I would try and find a mentor that's at least somewhat available. And number two, I would stick to one software per period. So to explain this, I learned everything. Like, at the same time I was learning Photoshop, I was learning Illustrator, I was learning After Effects, I was learning Premiere Pro, I was learning InDesign. Like, because I didn't have a mentor and I didn't have somebody to guide me to say, okay, start with this, then go to this, then go to this, I ended up learning everything. I think that wasted my time because I was not giving my full attention to like specific software. I was just like touching everything and anyhow. So I didn't have a proper system of learning. So I would definitely find a mentor and also pace myself. I would say, okay, find 3 months for Photoshop, another 3 months for Illustrator, another 3 months for this. And then I come back again just like that. I hope I've answered. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, sir. Wube, was that clear? All right. Awesome. All right. With that being said, let's keep the creative energy flowing as we will welcome our next and last speaker, who is none other than Taonga Sakala. This is someone who's doing amazing things in the creative industry. I personally get inspired every time I come across her socials. So, Ms. Taonga, the floor is all yours. Please unmute yourself and introduce yourself before you proceed. She's going to talk about the business side of design, from passion to profit. Thank you.
Right.
Ms. Taonga.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Just excuse my voice. I'm recovering from a flu. Thank you so much for inviting me to speak. It's a privilege to speak to everyone, and thank you for everyone who's joined in today. Today, I'm going to be talking about the business side of design, from passion to profit. So my main focus would be talking about how you can turn your passion for design into profit and actually make it a sustainable income, like I did for myself. So I'm going to share my personal journey, lessons I've learned, and also practical strategies you can start applying in terms of the business side of design. So let me just share my screen and then we can get started. Can everyone see my screen? Okay, awesome. Can you see my screen right now? Right, let me get started. So I'm talking about, as I said before, the business side of design. So to begin with, I'll share a bit about my story so the people who don't know me can get to more know me and understand where I'm coming from and my journey so far in the creative industry and in design. So I started off my journey in 2019. Okay, growing up, I was always a person who loved doing art and creative things. So in high school, I took art as a class. It was my favorite subject, and I thought I would study something to do with art when I went to uni. But unfortunately, in Zambia, there was no proper course to do with art or graphics design. But I actually applied to schools abroad, but they were very expensive. So I just decided to stick to Zambia and I started studying web and software development at Northrise University. But that didn't stop my love for art and graphics. So on my phone, I downloaded an app called PixArt. That's how I started creating people, like manipulating them, and then also making them cartoons. And then people actually started paying me for that, and I started making money off of making people into cartoons. And then my dad saw that I was passionate about this, and then he bought me a graphics design tablet. So from the tablet, I started learning Adobe Illustrator, where I actually started drawing people into illustrations, and that's how I started learning the application. So I would draw people into cartoons, they would pay me. I even got like people abroad, like in the UK, they would pay me to draw them into cartoon illustrations. But I realized like I would take so much time, so many hours drawing them, but like it wasn't really sustainable. I also used to design covers for upcoming artists, but it wasn't like the money wasn't making sense. So I transitioned. I started learning more of like corporate branding, designing logos, business cards, flyers, so that I could attract like people who pay me proper money for these things. And I started building my portfolio and also sharing my work online. And I also started creating passion projects. Through passion projects, I landed my first paid brand identity design client because of a passion project I made and shared. So, fast forward to 2021, I continued sharing my work, engaging with other professionals, and also other designers, networking, gaining more visibility. And then in 2023, I got an internship before graduating from university at Spain. So I was a design intern for about 3 months. Then after 3 months, I got confirmed and became a content creator. Um, then 2024, I graduated in web and software development, and I was also promoted to creative content creator and digital marketer because as I was I was learning more skills. I didn't just stop at learning graphics design. I continued to learn different skills like digital marketing because I saw the importance of digital marketing and how more businesses are coming online and they want to market themselves online. So I decided to learn more skills, and then that got me the promotion. I also joined the Africa Must Think design competition last year, and I came out third place out of 1,000 participants, which also gave me more visibility and also exposure. And after the competition, I got a job offer that instantly doubled my income. So that's a bit about my journey as a creative so far. I'm still learning, I'm still growing. So from my journey, what I did was I started sharing my work before I was even ready, like before I was extremely good. I was already sharing my work online. So when you're starting out as a designer, share your process, share your work, even if it's not perfect. Don't wait for perfection. Share your work while you build your portfolio, because that's like your portfolio is, and your work is like your CV. When people want to engage you, they want to first see what you've done before. So if a client comes, I want a poster, they'll want to see what other posters you've designed. So if you're not sharing your work, people won't see what you can do. Show your work online. Um, I was posting my work online consistently, my projects, my designs, and everything. And that's what got me clients to come. Even when I was in uni, I was making money when I was in uni because of graphics design. I was working remotely and getting clients, and it helped me have a side income when I was a student in university. So consistently share your creative process, the story behind your work, so people understand why you designed that, like what made you come up with that design. And then also networking actively. I was networking with fellow designers in the industry and also people in different professions. And that's what has given me more opportunities in life and opened different opportunities. So, you, as a young designer who's starting out, I would encourage you to network with other people in the industry and also learn from others and also go on professional platforms. For me, LinkedIn has been the platform that I've used to grow my network and to network with other professionals. And I've gotten clients from the platform. I've gotten job offers from the platform just by sharing what I'm learning and what I know. Um, yeah, I also talk about contracts and how you protect yourself as a business, as a designer. Yeah, when it comes to designing. So let's move forward. So I'm going to talk about visibility and branding that gets you noticed. So you could be the best designer in the industry, but if you're not showing your work, no one knows about you. You will stay broke. No one will come for you to you. And yeah, so visibility is extremely important when it comes to if you want to get clients, get opportunities in life. It's very important that your work is seen by potential clients, the public, and you show that you can actually design. Because if you don't show people that you can do it, no one will know about you and no one will actually approach you for your skills. So that's why it's important to show your work. So how you can show your work is by building a strong social media presence. It could be a website or even participating in like competitions like I did and also Aggrey did. The competitions are what brought visibility, yeah, to us. So those things can help you. Branding. So you also need to focus on building your own personal brand, because a personal brand is very important, especially in the day we're living today. Having something that's distinct, being known for something, will help you stand out. So a strong personal brand will help you have a lasting impression on other customers. Being known for something will bring in people, will make people get to know you as a person. And having a strong personal brand and also visibility will help you help people find you easily and also help you be remembered for what work you do. And when someone thinks of design, someone that knows you, you should be top of mind. That's the reason why personal branding is very important. So building online visible, building a presence online is what will help you build your personal brand. If you consistently show up online and show up as a designer, you build a personal brand as a designer. And when people think about design work, you'll be top of mind and they'll think of you and they'll come to you. Moving forward, so when you're a designer, a freelancer, or you're working for anyone, you need to be professional in how you handle your business. Professionalism is what visibility will get you and branding will get you the clients, but professionalism and business practice is what will keep the clients and also protect you. So having a contract in place is very important. A contract is basically a document that outlines your project scope of work, deliverables, timelines, payment plans, and revision limits. And it protects you and your client, and also sets clear expectations of what will work. So I have a story to tell about this. So when I am starting work, I always ask for a 50% deposit, which is non-refundable, and that's written in the contract. So when I was working with a specific client, they stopped the project in the middle of the contract, and they wanted part of the 50% deposit. But what saved me was in the contract, it was clearly stated that the 50% deposit is non-refundable, and they didn't do anything about it because they already signed the contract. So it's important to have a contract in place because it protects you. When a conflict arises with a client, you can easily use the contract to back you up, or anything could happen in business. Yeah. So another thing is, before you start working, always ask for 50% deposit upfront. This is extremely important because I remember when I was starting out as a designer, I was only focused. I would be like, oh yeah, you can pay afterwards. And I've worked for free for some people because I didn't ask for the 50% deposit. So them paying ensures that it shows that the client is serious and they also value your time for them to pay 50% deposit before starting the project. And it also helps with your cash flow in case, because some clients actually, they won't pay you, they'll take long to pay you, it will be a late payment, but at least if you have something, 50% of the payment made, you can also even do the project. In case you're working with other designers, you can also pay the other designers if it's a project that's too big for one designer to handle. So it's important you ask for your 50% because mostly when designers are starting out, they'll just work and get paid after. But the 50% helps you. Yeah, so request for it. If a client refuses, that's not your client. You should move. And then another thing is communication, professional communication. As a designer, you need to communicate professionally with your clients, respond promptly to their inquiries, messages, and don't ghost your clients. They pay you, you go quiet. Next thing you hear on Mwebantu, they're exposing you. You don't want that to happen to you. You need to communicate. Tell them the deadline or how the project will go. Tell them, give them feedback, be respectful. When you're professional in how you communicate with your client, they'll even come back and they'll be like, oh, this designer is professional. They handle the business well. You tell them, okay, this is how the project is going. You give them feedback like, okay, this is what's going on. I'm not yet done, but this is where we are. This is the stage we are at. So communication is extremely important. Moving forward, strategy over aesthetics. As you are designing, it's very important that design is not about just making things look pretty, look nice. Aggrey explained this very well in his presentation about disruptive design. So when you're designing, make sure you need to understand, as a graphics designer, you're not just designing pretty things. You're communicating a message. Yeah, it's a form of visual communication. You're helping businesses convey their messages clearly and effectively to their audience in a visual format. Excuse me, sorry. Yeah, so you're communicating visually. So as a designer, you have to think like, okay, how can I communicate effectively to their audience, to the specific target audience you're looking at? Because every business has a different target audience that they want to send out their message to. So, for example, if it's a brand that's focused on like kids, it would be maybe more vibrant than a brand that's mostly on elderly people. Maybe they would use dull colors. So depending on the brand, that's how you create the poster, whether it's a poster campaign. Yeah. So also, strategy helps you with brand memorability. Yeah, this word. Yeah. So good design makes a brand more memorable. It's consistent with the color, the typography, the logo, the imagery. Yeah. So design helps a brand, if it's cohesive, it's consistent all the time, you remember them for that. Like, for example, when you think of yellow and the Zambian brand, most people think of MTN because they've consistently used that color and it's become part of their brand. And then your design should solve problems. You're not just designing for things to like, oh, they look nice. They should actually solve business problems. So if you actually address specific business challenges and help your clients through their business growth and their objectives and provide solutions to their business problems, then you become more valuable as a designer. So your focus should be beyond the aesthetics. You should think strategically. You should think about the end user in mind, the audience they are trying to design for. So that, yeah, your client's strategic partner and not just a service provider. So key questions you can ask is, what problem am I solving with my design? If when a client comes for a logo, what problem am I solving? When a client comes for a poster, what problem am I solving? So identify the specific challenge the design needs to address in the business, and that will help you become more strategic. How will this design help the business grow? Is it going to effectively communicate the brand's message to their target audience? So you think behind the design. So yeah, so you connect your creative work to business objectives and outcomes. Most of the time, every business wants to make money. So you need to find a way to talk to the client in how you're going to communicate their brand message, and also talk about how eventually by your designs and you creating good designs for them, it's going to eventually, the outcome will be more sales, more money. Yeah. So you need to think in that aspect. Then what should the audience think, feel, or do when they see my work? So you need to clearly define, like, okay, this is the target audience I'm designing for. So that's where your design decisions come in from. Like, okay, this is the specific target audience. This is how they'll respond to such kind of message. Because in some places, a certain design might be insulting, but in another country, it's okay. So also understanding your target audience is extremely important when it comes to design. Yeah, so ask questions, think strategy before design. Make sure before you actually come to the design, you do your research, understand the target audience, understand the specific business needs that are required for the design to be impactful. pricing and positioning. So, how you price your work will influence the type of client you attract. Pricing is not just about the time you spend on the work, it's about the value you deliver to your client. You need to understand. So, when it comes to pricing, when you're just starting out, you have no clue like how much should I charge for a logo? How much should I charge for brand identity? How much should I charge for a poster? Some people will go in, they'll start as a designer, they'll be studying 50 kwacha for a logo. 50 kwacha for a logo, and then the company will go use the same logo to make millions and millions with your 50 for the 50 kwacha they paid you. So you need to understand how much the pricing standards. Ask other fellow designers like, okay, how much do you typically charge? Maybe you ask a, different designers and then you come up with a price. Do market research on the rates. Also consider the impact that your work is going to have on your client's business. A logo has so much impact. For example, the Apple logo, it's just putting the Apple logo on a specific on like a phone makes the price go higher. So that the logo has impact. The Nike logo, the swoosh, when you just put it on a shirt, the shirt can be higher price, but without the logo, it can be lowerly priced. So think of the impact that your your design will have on the client's business as they grow and build their brand. Also, if you want to position yourself as a premium designer and attract premium clients, you need to also set your prices accordingly. You can't be charging low prices and expecting premium clients. You just attract low paying clients. So you need to also be professional and excellent in whatever work you're doing. Your work need to be excellent and also more than just pretty design if you want to attract premium clients. And then also deliver high quality services for your clients. Be professional in how you handle your clients if you want premium clients. So yeah, remember your price and professionalism signals the market and what kind of clients you attract as a person or as a freelancer. So most most designers overlook this, but business compliance, if especially if you're a freelancer, not just working for like maybe you're working for an organization or you're working for an agency, but if you're working as a freelancer and you have, let's say you've made a business name, if you're not compliant, you haven't registered your business with PACRA or ZRA, forget about attracting like big paying clients like corporates, NGOs, and the government as your client, because most of these big businesses want people who are compliant with business practices. They've registered their business with PACRA, they have registered with ZRA. If you're not compliant, you won't attract this type of clients. So when you register your business, it allows you to attract these clients, these bigger clients, because you look more, if you're compliant, you look more professional, first of all, and they'll likely trust you than someone who's not registered at all business than a freelancer. Register, attract these government tenders, NGOs. Make sure you are compliant and you have registered your business. And then if you also want financial opportunities for your business, access to loans from banks, grants, or financial resources, make sure you register. Simple registering your business with PACRA ZRA, it's a critical step to scaling up your business and also attracting better, bigger deals than a freelancer. There's a difference between a business and a freelancer. The deals a freelancer will get and the deals a business will get will be very different. A person, maybe a business might not trust this with 100,000 kwacha, so that they are doing work for you and bigger contracts, and so is what gets you in back. Strategy helps you deliver real results for your clients, customers, and then compliance is what opens bigger opportunities for you. And also pricing will determine the type of people you attract and also your income. And yeah, that's it from me, from my presentation. And I'll just take this opportunity to say that I have an upcoming class where I'm teaching digital marketing strategies and how to get clients. It's 199 kwacha, but early bird fee is 100 kwacha. And if you're part of this class, I'll give you at the early bird discount of 100 kwacha. So if you're interested, you can just message me afterwards. But yeah, you can ask any questions. This is the end of my presentation.
Wow. Thank you so much, Taonga, for unpacking the business side of design so clearly. You've shown us that creativity isn't just about inspiration, it can also be a powerful drive of value, a round of applause. Like, that was amazing. Just before we dive into questions, one thing that really stood out for me was the reminder that good design makes a brand memorable. Like, that really stood out for me. But it also has to solve problems. It's not just about like making things look pretty, it's about creating impact. So I want someone to just type in the comment section, just say, my design will create impact. My design will create impact. Awesome. All right, amazing. I can see hands are already up. We'll start with Taonga. Taonga, please, you can unmute yourself and go ahead and ask the question.
Okay, thank you very much for that presentation. What really caught my attention was the talk about pricing, attracting premium clients, and all that. My question exactly is, how do you set a premium price, knowing that you are a newbie in the game and you don't really want to be so low, but knowing that I don't have much experience, I mean, I wouldn't expect the same price with someone who has about 6 years of experience in the game, and then I'm just starting out. So maybe I'll be afraid to set that price because I'm not too experienced, so to say. So how do you just bridge that gap? Thank you.
Okay, thank you for the question, Taonga. So when you're starting out, you obviously won't be as confident to price at a premium price than someone who's already got a lot of experience. So I think you need to do standards. You're undervaluing yourself and you don't have skills on capabilities. You can put yourself like, okay, most designers are charging, let's say they're charging 250 for a poster. Because I'm starting out, I'll just charge 150. So you're not too low, you're not too high, you're just below the average price. So that you're not charging 50 kwacha while everyone is charging 300, of like, okay, this is where I am. And also don't be comfortable with just doing the bare minimum. Just continue improving your design skills. Design, you constantly have to evolve and continue like practicing and becoming a better designer so that you can charge more and also charge the same as the expert and also charge a premium, because excellent design, it's easy to charge premium if your designs are excellent. I hope that answers your question. Hi, does that answer your question? Okay. Yeah. Next question.
All right. So the next question we have Wupe. Wupe, please unmute yourself. Go ahead and ask the question.
Hello.
All right. Thank you very much. Great presentation once more from Madam Sakala. My two questions again. Firstly, how do you juggle being an all-round creative, and then what would be your advice to anyone starting out in the creative space, being it marketing, copy, and all that? And I heard you mentioned you studied software engineering. Same thing as I am at Zambia University of Technology doing software engineering. So how would you advise?
Okay. The first question you asked was, what was the first question? Sorry. Hello. What was the first question you asked? Sorry.
Like, being an all-rounder, like the person that you are, how would you advise someone in that space?
Okay. So being an all-round creative, I have, okay, for me, I have like a lot of interests. And that's why I've learned many different skills. Jobs, they kind of want you to have like many skills. That's why I learned multiple skills. And it wants you to have computer literacy skills. They want you to have digital marketing skills. So that pushed me to learn more skills. And I feel like also having multiple skills helps you attract more opportunities, because if there's something for graphics design, I can attract that opportunity. If there's something for digital marketing, I can attract that opportunity. So being all-rounded creative helps. And also, I feel like my skills complement design. It goes well with digital marketing. In those skills, I become more valuable as an individual. So being an all-round creative and having multiple skills just makes you more valuable as an individual, and the more value you have, the more opportunities you attract. Yeah. And then your second question was, what was your second question? Sorry, can you repeat it?
I heard you said you study software engineering. So how do you balance that, or you've like shifted towards the creative space 100% in the aspect of designs, or you're still into the coding and all that?
Okay, when I went into university, I went temporary on a temporary basis because I thought I would go into design school. So I let go of like the software engineering because coding wasn't really my thing. So I realized like, okay, it's not my thing. I'll just do this, get the degree. But my main focus at the moment is purely
To explain this,
design.
I learned everything. Like
my main graphics design, digital marketing. That's what I do for a living. I'm a graphics designer and a digital basically at the moment I don't juggle everything like I'm a software engineer. No, I focused on the creative side. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much. Any other question from the audience? I'll take the last one and then we proceed. Any question from the audience? All right. It seems like we don't have any question. So thank you so much to both our speakers. I actually have I actually have two questions, one for each speaker. Is Mr. August in the meeting? All right. So from our first session on disruptive creativity, we learned that stepping beyond the norm can open new doors and challenge how we think about design. And now we've seen how that creativity transitions into value, where good design not only makes a brand memorable, but solves real problems. My question for the first speaker is that what's one practical way a designer can start thinking more disruptively in their everyday work? What's one practical way a designer can start thinking more disruptively in their everyday work?
all right, thank you so much for the question. One practical way number one, always have a notebook, right? If you don't have a physical notebook, you can use your phone or use your laptop, whatever it is. But whenever you see an artwork, whenever you see a design, even if you're not the one that made it, maybe you're just walking home or you're watching something and you see a poster, a billboard or something, your first question, every time you see it, your first question is, what could have made this better? Now, what could have made this better can mean what should be added to improve it, or what should be removed to improve on it, or should it just be changed all together. Start writing those things down. After you write those things down, act on it. Right? So you come across a piece of artwork, whatever artwork, maybe it's even an artwork your friend has designed, an artwork that you feel somebody you look up to has designed, an artwork you've seen somewhere, wherever. As the moment you see it, that's the first thing that should ring. Say, how can this be made better? What can we do to improve this? What can I do to improve this? When you start training your mind to think like that, trust me, for example, you will find yourself having different ideas almost every time. I often say to my team to say, right now, you can give me a title, you can give me a brief, whatever. I will instantly, after hearing it, I will instantly have 4 or 5 different ways of interpreting it, and they will all be different. So, but that comes with practice. So that's how you start training yourself. Whatever it is you see, you ask, how can it be made better? What should I remove? What should I add? How can I change this concept entirely? Start thinking like that, and you're on your way.
Wow, that was amazing. Thank you so much. I am so in love with the how you've just responded to the question. That was amazing. Thank you so much. To our second speaker, Mr. Onga, my question is what's the first step a creative should take if they want to turn their passion for design into a profitable business? What's the first step a creative should take if they want to turn their passion for design into a profitable business?
Oh, okay. I think I'll answer. Okay, I'll just say more than one step. So firstly, they need to actually get good at design, have the skill, learn graphics design, and be good at it. That's the first thing they have to do. Then, when they get good at it, they need to market themselves and show their work online consistently, and that's how they'll get clients by being good, by being excellent at what they do, and also showcasing their work online and building a personal brand around it. Yeah, that's how you get clients from graphics design. But skill is very important. Without the skill, you won't get the clients. Without being good at it, the clients won't come.
All right, thank you so much. Looking at time, I'll get the last question from Taonga and then we'll conclude. Taonga, you can unmute yourself. Hi, Taonga.
Hi, how are you? Wait, is it the other Taonga? Sorry.
I saw Taonga.
Oh, okay.
All right, it seems like she's not here. I remember at the beginning of the session, I said, or rather, I mentioned to say, I'm going to be your driver. I'm just here to report that we are about to drop off because we have just arrived at our last destination. But just before we drop off, I would love to share about the hosts. Most of you have heard about SAYS through social media, through friends, and you've just seen it, but you don't know what it is, or rather, you don't know what it is about. All right. Hope I can see your hand is up.
Oh, sorry to cut you short, but my request was simply to have maybe, if the speakers allowed, to help mentor us, because our first speaker spoke of mentorship, because that's very important. So I was hoping that we might have a small interaction.
Okay, thank you so much for that. I think I'll allow the speakers to share. I don't know if they offer mentorship they are on, but we'll email all of you their social media links so that you can follow them, follow their work, because I believe the best way one can be mentored is number one, by knowing and following that person who inspires you. So we'll share their links to your media, and then we'll also create a WhatsApp group where we'll add all of you. If they will permit us, we'll also add them into their group, in that group, so that whenever you need something, you can always go ahead. But for Miss Taonga, she mentioned to say she'll be hosting something. I feel like if you want to be mentored by someone, the best way you can do, enroll into that. By doing that, you'll be able to get closer to them, know who they are at a deeper length. Amen. I hope that was clear enough. Or maybe Mr. Onga or Mr. Aggrey has something to say before I proceed.
On the mentorship part, I have no problem. You can just get my number from one of the organizers, and I will definitely be available to help you. So yeah.
So for me, I have a community called the Value Tribe where I mentor mostly on Tuesdays. You could join that. You can share my number, and then if you're interested, and then also I have I have a class coming up tomorrow. Starting tomorrow, actually, I'm teaching lead generation and basic digital marketing and how to run ads. So it's a paid class. If you're interested, I'll send my number to the organizers. Can give you my number and you can reach out if you're ready to pay.
The money side. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We'll definitely share your contact details with them to the audience. We'll email you the details so that you can chat further with them. We'll also create a WhatsApp group where each and every person who attended today will be added to. Yes. So going back to what I was saying, I would love to appreciate each and every person who attended. But first of all, I'll talk about what says is when did we start and the kind of programs that we offer. So SAYS, which is simply Science Exploration Zambia, is a non-governmental organization which was founded in the year 2019 in Lusaka, Zambia. Our mission is to inspire innovation through STEM education. What we do is that we empower young people with digital skills, scientific curiosity, as well as entrepreneurial spirit to solve the real world problems and transform communities. Then, talking about who we are, we at SAYS, we actually believe in STEM, which is science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. We believe that these subjects are not just classroom subjects, but rather they are toolkits for life. That is why we run different programs to give young people hands-on experience. Some of the programs that we run is like the Creative Foundation we just hosted today, the Innovation Challenges, different partnerships, career guidance to people who are in STEM. Then our work is guided by values like integrity, creativity, excellence, as well as collaboration. And talking about tonight's session, like it is part of our mission. We know creativity fuels innovation, so we are here to equip you with like digital skills in branding, design, as well as functionality. So thank you so much to our speakers. We are really grateful. We say thank you for accepting to speak to us. I heard at first when Mr. Aggrey mentioned to say he rarely accepts when people reaches out to him, but specifically for this program he agreed. It's a blessing and we don't take it lightly. To the audience who joined today, thank you so much. Come again, we host different programs. Stay glued to our page in case you want to sponsor us or you want to do anything or you have any question that we haven't answered. Feel free to email us through our email. You can also follow us on social media. We're on Facebook, Instagram, as well as LinkedIn. Yes, from me, your host, Natasha Walia, it's a bye-bye. I think I also deserve a clap. Yes, thank you so much.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
All right. Just a quick one. I think maybe this was was not part of the the agenda, but I just wanted to mention a few things that we're currently running as an organization. So just in case you're wondering, my name is Samuel Kapansa. I'm the current director for Science Exploration Zambia. And just before maybe I continue on what I wanted to just share, I think I would like to extend our thank you to Sir Aggrey and also Taonga for accepting the invitation again. Like I think Natasha mentioned, or I write it there. Aggrey doesn't just accept any invitation. So I think we're so much privileged that we got to have him here on board and to have Taonga on board as well. The information that they shared is so valuable, and I think these are some of these things are things that people pay for. Like this is content, this is knowledge that people pay for. I'm sure most of us, when you just go maybe on social media and things like that, you see people creating events, either it be online or physical, and people add money to these events, and you have to pay for you to attend some of these things. And so for them to just share these things for free, share their experiences, share their skills, I think it's just a privilege for all of us here, and we're just grateful and thankful that you made it possible for you guys to be here. So we're just grateful and thankful, and hopefully we hope that even as we plan other sessions, you'll be able to just come through. Yeah, so thank you so much once again to Aggrey and Taonga. Currently, as an organization, I'm sure Natasha did mention we run a number of activities, and some of the things that we look at, especially under IT or tech, is that we empower youth with digital skills, and among them is web development and mobile development. So currently we have a boot camp running where we are training people on how to design and develop web applications. So that's full stack web applications, so front end and back end. I got reminded because I think someone did ask a question around that. So we are almost coming to an end with the first cohort. So just watch out for the second cohort. We'll be able to share the details and everything. A WhatsApp group will be created. Okay, so a WhatsApp group will be created. I'm sure an email will be sent to everyone that registered for the event, so that you can join the WhatsApp group. Then from there, we'll be able to share everything. That will be the presentations that the speakers were sharing with us, of course, with their permissions. And also, we've recorded the session. Currently, it's live on Facebook, but we recorded it. So we'll be able to send you guys a link in case maybe you just want to catch up on some of the things that you've missed out. So we'll be able to do so. So once again to the participants, thank you so much for joining us, and for just being part of this program. I think this wouldn't have been possible without both the speakers and the participants. So thank you so much, and thank you to Natasha again for such a wonderful moderating that you've done, and for the people that have organized the event in itself. Thank you to Leandro and Isaiah for just putting this together. So thank you to everyone. And I think, that's what I just wanted to add there. So I think Natasha can close it up, and that's all. Thank you.